a woman like Britney?
You gotta handle her rough. You gotta be a dominant man to deal with Britney.
In a controversial episode of the Club 520 podcast, hosted by Jeff Teague and others, the platform came under fire for its shocking and derogatory comments. Comments about Angel Reese, a rising star in women's basketball. The remarks, coupled with the inclusion of controversial
Domestic violence, bro.
Yeah, domestic violence.
No, man, no.
Yeah, well, you asked. I'm telling you, yeah, she one of them ones you gotta kick in the sometime. Slap her across her head, sit down somewhere.
No.
Man,
no.
ain't being Uncle Curtis done it, and they stayed together 40, 50 years. All good relationships, somebody gotta take it.
Controversial guest Charleston White sparked widespread backlash for their blatant misogyny.
Like she's trying to brand outside of basketball. Yeah, like I'm a woman. I like men.
Tapping into that side. She tapping into that side of it.
No, she not. It's so many. It's a WNBA player that look like me and you. So she's trying to make it seem like
more girly.
Yeah,
she's trying to make it more like you can.
Misogyny, homophobia, and disrespect toward women athletes, particularly those in the WNBA. The episode began with Charleston White making offensive remarks about Reese, implying she doesn't want to play basketball and instead should engage in OnlyFans content. White's comments were not only demeaning, but also perpetuated harmful stereotypes about female athletes. The co-hosts, instead of challenging his rhetoric, laughed along with minimal pushback. At one point, White claimed that Reese was trying to present herself as feminine to counter perceptions about WNBA players. She's tapping into that side of it, he said, insinuating that most women in the league are masculine or gay. This perpetuated the harmful idea that female athletes must conform to traditional gender norms to be accepted. The conversation took an even darker turn when White spoke about handling women rough and defended physical violence in relationships. His comments about relationships being built on abuse were met with laughter and casual dismissal by the hosts, normalizing a deeply problematic narrative. The hosts attempted to salvage their position by praising Reese as a role model for straight girls in basketball, further cementing their homophobic stance. They also ridiculed WNBA players for their appearance, claiming they look like men, and targeted Brittney Griner specifically for her looks and identity. Jeff Teague later issued an apology, claiming the remarks were taken out of context. However, critics argue that the context was abundantly clear. The podcast gave a platform to hateful and degrading views about women and the LGBTQ+ community. Furthermore, Teague's defense that they talk about women's basketball more than other podcasts was seen as deflection rather than accountability. This episode has raised larger questions about the treatment of women in sports media. Why do platforms like Club 520 feel comfortable degrading female athletes? Angel Reese, a 22-year-old basketball star known for her success in college sports, continues to face unwarranted attacks on her character and identity. The episode exemplifies how misogyny and homophobia remain pervasive in sports discussions. Critics have urged podcasts and sports shows to take responsibility for the voices they amplify and the harmful narratives they perpetuate. This controversy highlights the need for respect, accountability, and better representation of women in sports media. As for Reese, fans hope she continues to thrive and prove her doubters wrong, showing the strength and resilience that define her career.